Hey you guys, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel, and today I have a super fun and informative video for you guys all about kind of hooded eye, deep set eye tricks, but more kind of leaning on the way of how to keep an aging eye uplifted so it's not being brought down. So if you want to know all about that, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, please share this video with somebody you think that might like it, and let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to try to break this down in really simple terms because on my last video I asked you guys if you wanted tips on this certain topic, on how to really give an eye lift or, correct or enhance an eye that is downturned and hooded at the same time, because as we age, our eyelids up here start to kind of fall, they start to have a little bit of extra skin, and they start to get a little bit more deep set, they have a smaller eye shape in general, and then also a lot of people, for the most part, eyes that I see are downturned, and I'm going to break this down for you guys. So we have a lot of new subscribers, so welcome to the Elle Squad family, and I really want to give this a place where people can refer to as a kind of 101 beginning tips on this. So to start out with, I'm actually going to highlight the brow bone first, and I will tell you why I do that in 1 second. So I'm actually just taking my Anastasia Eye Base number 1, and I am just kind of drawing this on underneath this brow bone right here, okay? Then you want to take it on the inside corner of the eye, next to the nose, and up a little bit on to the lid, okay? So it sees like that. I will also, scoot you guys in just 1 second here. All right, so you can already see how this has opened up this area right here. Take your finger and smooth this out. I prefer for a deep set hooded eye, aging eye, to use matte products on the brow bone, because any kind of highlight that you're going to bring on this brow bone right here is going to make it more pronounced, and that is already something that you guys probably deal with, so let's not bring a ton of attention to it by using a more shimmery shadow. Then I'm going to be using my Sigma Warm Neutrals Volume 2 palette. I absolutely love this palette, by the way. Take it on any brush. I'm going to take it on a Morphe R something brush. I'll link the brushes below in this video. And I'm just going to go into a matte cream colored shade, something that matches your flesh tone. I'm just going all over the lid. And you know that I've done this for my whole career, because this is going to help you blend all the eyeshadows on top of it. It's going to make it a lot easier, okay? So we have that base down. Our brow bone is already highlighted, all right? Now, what you're going to do is going to take any kind of shadow you want. I'm going to actually take this one called After Hours. It's just a typical brown shade. Then you're going to need a brush that looks like this. It is stained from a black shadow that I use, so don't, judge me for that. It is called a pencil brush. That's what this is. You can use this shape of a pencil or smaller. It depends on your eye shape. I will be doing a brush video coming up very soon on brush techniques and brush selection for your eye shape, so stay tuned. But this is the Sigma pencil brush E30. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the tiniest amount. So I really urge you guys to not go in with your shadows full pigment. So I'm just going to tap into this shadow right here, and I want to show you it's just on the tip of the brush. It's not saturated, and I will tap off excess, okay? So the reason why we tap off excess is to help with fallout and to help that we don't distribute too much product right away. It's better to layer your shadows in sheerer layers than to go in full strength and full pigment, okay? So now this is of the utmost importance. So my eye is actually downturned slightly, not super aggressively, but slightly. My eye definitely is hooded and getting more hooded by the day. But your eye on the outside corner here, so this lash line, it ends going down. Some people's doesn't. Some people actually, it ends in this upward turned motion. You're good to go, okay? But most people, on an average, their eye slopes down. And if you were to follow your shadow, like they all say, out to the outside corner, it's going to pull that eye down because we're actually shading and adding darkness out here, which we know draws the attention in on the eye and wherever it goes. So it can go up or down, okay? So what you want to do is when you're looking in the mirror, you want to follow this bottom lash line. That is of the utmost importance. I think I've talked about this before, but I really want to show you what I mean. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush, you're going to take your brush inward towards your eye. So not like this, but inward towards your eye. And you're going to follow this bottom lash line up. And if you have a hood right here, so I have skin that folds over right here. Can you see that? It folds over. You want to go over that fold. And I kind of go back and forth with my brush here so I can get in between that fold and on top of it. So I'll let you guys see that. The reason why we follow the bottom lash line is because for the majority of the public, your bottom lash line does go up. Okay, and that is going to be your guide to where your shadow on the outside will stop. Again, going underneath that eye along that bottom lash line and over that crease. I kind of close my eyes a little bit, make sure it's all distributed. I'm doing it a little bit more aggressively so you guys can see it. You don't have to distribute this much product. And then I take my mirror and I kind of look up a little bit and I bring this all the way in to the tear duct almost, not all the way. And I use these back and forth motions to distribute the product. And I'm using a very light hand. You don't want to smush this brush against your eye. That's not what you want. You want to be using just the tip. That's what this brush is made for, is to be used as a pencil. Like if you were to write, you just use the tip of the brush. And that's what you're doing here. You're writing this bottom lash line, okay? Great, so now we have the guide. So what you want to do is you want to stop right where your crease is. So stick your brush, so you can't really see my crease, okay, because my eyes are there's folds up here. So when you find your eye socket, where your eye and then the bone on your eye is, that is your crease. So you want to stop right where that crease is, okay? Just like this. Make sense? And then I don't take any more product. I just pull this along the crease. Now I go up with my brush, so I'm not doing it this way. I kind of flip my hand and I use the side of the brush and go halfway in. I am going on the crease, but you'll notice I am also going on top of the crease. So I am really going into the crease or where my eye socket is, but not underneath it, on top of it, okay? And this pencil brush is going to be really essential for you guys. And that's all I do. And what that's going to do is it's going to frame that hooded eye and give you some of that. Now, a quick tip. If you have an eye that has skin that actually kind of moves when you apply shadow to it, I think we all know what that is you're going to push your finger, and this is actually what I do when I do makeup on my clients, is I will push my finger in. Now you don't pull, you're not pulling anywhere, you're just pushing it in here, and what that does is it stabilizes the skin and allows you to have a smoother application, okay? Your goal here with this whole tip is to leave this lid light, okay? We are going to blend some shadows in here, but we want to leave the lid light. So then what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of the same shade again. We are blending layers of color, and I'm going to go over what I just have done, just on the top here, back and forth, okay? You are going to have a little bit of a line, but that's okay. You want to make sure that you have this placed correctly. Okay, so you can see that. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to take a fluffy brush. I actually prefer a brush like this. This is the Morphe brush. This is our something something. Again, I will put them all in the description box, but I want you guys to see the shape of it. It has a lot of movement. It is not stiff, so it's great for blending. You're going to take your brush and you're going to stick it right where that socket is, and you're going to go back and forth motions and blend this out. And then I like to flip it on its side and go in this upward V motion. Do not pull this down. You want to keep the brush on its side using the tip and going inward and back and forth. The goal is to never pass this line that you have created. You never want to pass that line. Okay, and if you do, you can clean it up with a little bit of concealer, but let's try to take the steps away. Then if you want to, you don't have to, but you can also take your pencil brush again, go into that same after hours shadow. Really make sure that this section right here is dark, because this is going to give that optical illusion, and you can bring this into the outer third of the eye. This is going to give the optical illusion of the eye being pulled out because it's darker, all right? And then again, take your brush, has nothing on it, and blend it inward, not out. The motion is inward. Now, what I like to do to make sure that everything is nice and blended, I will take a very, very soft transition shade. So I'm gonna go into Toasty in this same palette. Pick your favorite transition shade. Tap off excess. Now you're gonna do very light-handed. You're gonna go on top of that creased color and blend upward towards the brow bone. Again, not going past this line, just blending on top of this color. And you're still leaving this little highlighted portion right here from the arch out to the tail. You're still leaving that highlighted section. And that's why we highlighted before, because it blends that highlight into all of these colors, still gives that little bit of an eye lift on the outside, again reinforcing the shape, but it also gets blended so it's less prominent. Now what you can do is you can take a very light shimmery shade. I love to use my Hourglass powders for this. You don't have to. I was going to show you something a little bit more aggressive in the shimmery section. I'm just going to use my NARS palette. I'm going to actually use a highlighter to show you this effect. You're going to wipe off your pencil brush, go into a highlight shade, and then you're going to start on the top of the eye right here along the lash line and gently up on the tear duct. Okay, does that make sense? And then you're going to take your brush again and just blend this into the rest of the eye. Now we're going to take a, I don't really know what this brush is called. I will link it down below. Again, my brushes are all kind of stained, but this is a defining eye brush is what I call this. This is by MAC. I will again link it below, but you want something that is short and semi-stiff and has a line on the top of it. Take your favorite black eyeshadow, use very little product, just on the end. And what you're gonna do is, I can't do this with my eye open. If you can, if you're a contact wearer, awesome. But for some reason, my eye twitches. So what you're gonna do is you're going to take this brush and you're going to get as close to the lash line as possible, and you're going to wiggle this back and forth along the lash line. You want to make the line as small as possible. I'm gonna try to do this open. I go on top, it hurts too bad. You want to go as close as you possibly can, and you just want to do these kind of gentle pressing motions. So all I'm doing is I'm going in and press, 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 press. You don't want to do this. I can do the inside here. Now when you do this section of the eye, you're going to just tap it, tap it, tap it. And it'll give you a really nice definition along that lash line without losing any of the space on your lid. Okay, so that's super important. So to finish this up, I'm going to take my pencil brush, go back into my highlighter, and I am going to gently tap the bottom lash line. I am not going to bring this down very far, and I'm going to be keeping it as close as I possibly can to the lash line. All right, so everything else is on. I just wanted to show you something that sometimes happens. So both of my eyes are done. Everything was done the exact same, but do you see the difference between this eye and this eye? So this eye is a lot smaller than this eye. So I have to overcompensate to make this eye look bigger than this one, because if I was to do it exactly how I did this eye would be like really upturned and it wouldn't look proportionate. So what I do is I take my, obviously my palette again, I take my little brush and I go back and forth between the darkest color and the lighter color, tap off excess, and then what I do is I look straight into the mirror, just like this, and I always have to pull this eye down a little bit more. Again, still in that upward motion, still following that lash line, but you'll never see this until the whole look is done. So I hope that these tips really helped you guys. Please comment below and let me know if they did, if you kind of had any little aha moments, and let me know if you guys try these tips and how they work for you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much and so appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, you guys.